Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is our lecture of week number 7, lecture 1 of our course Analysis of Algorithm for BSSE 6th. In this lecture, the topic of our lectures are significance of the heap sort, what is heap sort and what is its importance, nodes, areas and terminologies. Heap is just like a tree, so there are several nodes, and the nodes of different locations belongs to different areas and they have different terminologies. We use some terms for different areas of the nodes of heap. How to construct heap, the way in which the heap is constructed, what are the max and min heap properties, exercise question, we will discuss the exercise questions, max CP5 procedure, we will also discuss in detail the max CP5 procedure with the example, illustration of max CP5 with examples, then analysis of max CP5 procedure. These are the topics of our today lectures. The first one, significance of the heap sort. We have already learned about insertion sort, and we know that the running time of the insertion sort is O of n square, that is quadratic. This is the running time of insertion sort, and the memory used by the insertion sort algorithm is in place, that is where the data is stored at that specific location or the place the data is sorted. No need to use the extra memory for sorting through insertion sort algorithm. If we don't use extra memory for sorting the data, then we say that the algorithm is in place algorithm. What are the features of the merge sort? We have discussed in detail the merge sort algorithm, and we have analyzed the running time through different methods. We have analyzed the running time of merge sort through iteration method, through floor and seal method, through tree method, and the running time of the merge sort is theta of n log n base 2. This is the running time of merge sort. And which type of memory the merge sort uses? It is non in place, that is this algorithm uses some extra memory. It does not use or utilizes the memory in which the data is already stored, but it needs some extra memory for its manipulation for sorting the data. It means insertion sort is in place, utilizes the memory which where the actual data is stored. This is the good feature of insertion sort, because it is not engaging the extra memory for manipulating the data. So the second feature of merge sort is not good as compared to this insertion sort, while the first feature, the insertion sort is O of n square, it is quadratic while it is logarithmic. The first feature of merge sort is better than insertion sort. So first feature of merge sort is better, while the second feature of insertion sort is better. What is the significance of heap sort? Heap sort, actually the running time of heap sort is theta of n log n base 2, just like the merge sort. Because this was the best feature of the merge sort as compared to insertion sort, so this best feature is present here in heap sort. The second feature, that is insertion sort in place, it is best feature of insertion sort than the merge sort because it is non in place. So the heap sort contains the second best feature in it, that is heap sort is also in place. These two good features of insertions and merge sort are collectively combined here in heap sort. That is why heap sort is more beneficial and more important than the above two sorting algorithms. Heap sort combines the better characteristics of both insertions and the merge sort algorithm in it. We have shown this the importance of heap sort here in this slide. Now we discuss heap is just like a tree, so there are some terms which we use for different nodes. The first node is called the root node, so this area belongs to the root node area. The last level, the nodes at the last levels are called the leaf oblique the terminal nodes. Those nodes which have no child, these nodes are the leaf nodes or terminal nodes, and they exist at the last or the last one level of the tree. While these nodes, which are actually the parent, root is the parent, but there are some other parents which are inside, in between the first and the last level. These are nodes are called intermediate nodes. These are intermediate nodes. So these are some terms: root node, intermediate node, leaf oblique terminal nodes. This terminology we will use in our later slides for discussing the heap sort in detail. There are some other terminologies. These three nodes have some relationship, that is parent and child relationship. Parent node, this, let's suppose first one 15 is called the parent node, and it has left and right. Index number 2, it is the left node, and index number 3 is the right node. These two nodes are the childs of this parent node 15. 19 and 10 are the child node of 15. So parent-child relationship and the terminology used for the parent and child nodes is this. This one is parent child, and this is the left node or the left child, and this is the right node or the right child of this parent. Here, how to construct a heap? There are some very short but important algorithm. Parent of I, return I divided by 2. If someone wants to know that who is my parent and at what index my parent exists, then the node will send its own index to this parent algorithm, and it will return the index of its parent. That is, the index number flan is the node at the index number the index number is its parents. Left I, if some parent want to know that is which node of the array, which element of the array will be the left node of its, so that parent will send its index number to this left algorithm, and it will return the index that specific index is going to become its left node, and when the parent will send its index to this right algorithm, then right algorithm return the index number from the array that index belongs to its right child. So these are three algorithms through which the child can know about its parents in the location of the parent in the array, while the parent can parent want to know or want to get knowledge about its left and right child location in the array. This is actually the first node is the root node, and this root node want to know that which node will be its left node. The index of this root node is 1. Root node is 15 and 15. The index of 15 is 1. This 1 is sent to this left, and this left algorithm returns 2 into I, that is 2 into 1, that is 2. 2 into 1, 2. That is index number 2 is its left child. Index number 2 is 19. 19 will be its left child. And when this 15 send its index 1 to right algorithm, then here we will use 1. 2 into 1, 2 1s are 2, plus 1, 3. It will return the value 3. It means that 15 has its right child at index number 13. Index number 13, here the value is 10. The 10 will be the right child of this 15. Here we can see that 10 is the right child of 15. Now if 19 want to know that which element of the array will be its left child and which element of the array will be its right child, then 19 will send the index number 2. The index of 19 is 2. Here in the array you may see the index of 19 is 2. The index of 19 is 2. 2 is sent to left. The 2 is sent to right. The left will return 2 into 2, 4. And right will return 2 into 2, 4 plus 1, 5. It will return 4. It will return 5. That index number 4, that is 7, will be the left, and index number 5, that is 17, will be the right child. So 19 contains at left side the 7 element of array, and at the right child 17 elements of the array at index number 4 and 5. These are two left and right child of 19, and similarly 10 can also want to know about its child when that the node number 10 will send its index 3 to left node. It will return 2 into 3, 6. That is index number 6, that is 16 will be its left child. 16 index, this 6 index value, that is 16, is the left child of 10, and the array has been finished. So there will be no right child of 10, and this will be our heap, and this is the way how to construct a heap. And if someone want to know about its parent, that is 17, want to know that where at what index my parent is located, then what is the index of 17? The index of 17 is 5. It will send 5 to this parent, and it will return 5 divided by 2 is equal to 2.5, and floor of 2.5 become 2. The floor of 2.5 become 2, and it will return 2. So 17 will get the value 2, that is at index number 2, that is 19 will be the parent of 17. You may see 19 is the parent of 17. Through this algorithm, the heap sort manage that who is the parent and who is the left or right child of parent. This is the way to construct a heap through array data. Max and min heap properties. This is the property of max heap. A of A min array. In the array, parent of I greater than or equal to A of I, that is element of that array. Parent of I greater than or equal to A of I. If this is parent, this parent in the array should be greater than A of I, that is its child 82. 85 is greater than 82, 85 is greater than 79. From both child it is greater, and this parent is also greater from its both child, that is left and right. 82 is greater than its left child, that is 80. 82 is greater than its right child, that is 60. Here again 79 is greater than 72 from its left child, that is 72. So each node is satisfying this max heap property. So such an heap which satisfies this max heap property where the each and every node satisfy the maxheap property. Such a heap is called maxheap. Similarly, the min heap, a of parent of I less than or equal to a of I. Here, the parent node value will be less than its child node. So, you may see it here, 60. It is parent, and its left child is 72, and its right child is 79. 60 is less than 72, 60 is less than 79, parent is less than array element, that is childs. Here 72 is less than 80 and 72 is less than 82. Similarly, 79 is less than 85. So each node or each parent is satisfying the min heap property. Such a heap is called min heap, which satisfies the min heap property, where the each node should satisfy the min heap property. Heap sort. This is actually the these are the points which we are required to sort the element through heap sort algorithm. Heap sort algorithm sorts in place, and its running time is O of n log n. We have already discussed that it is O of n log n algorithm, just like the merge sort algorithm. It combines the better attribute of insertions, and the merge sort algorithm, we have already discussed this attribute, that is the good feature of the insertion and the merge sort are incorporated here, are combined here in heap sort. It is based on a data structure heap. Heap is a data structure, and this algorithm based upon this data structure heap. The binary heap data structure is an array object that can be viewed as a nearly complete binary tree. That is, when we convert the array data into a heap, it will become the binary tree and nearly complete binary tree. Maybe from the right side of the leaf area may become incomplete, but sometimes the whole leaf area becomes complete. So such a binary tree is called complete binary tree. An array A that represents a heap is an object. That heap which we construct from an array is called an object with two attributes. So that heap will contain two attributes. The first one, length of A, which is the number of elements, and heap size of A, the number of elements in the heap stored within the array A. It means sometimes the length of array and the heap size of array may be equal, and sometimes heap size will be smaller than the length. It means heap size shrinks gradually as and when we sort the data, but the length of the array remains same. So these are two attributes which we will use in the heap sort concept. There are some exercise questions. First we will solve some exercise question, and then we will move towards the analysis of the MaxCP5 procedures, and then in our next lecture we will move towards the overall algorithm of the heap sort, where we will discuss the heap sort algorithm, build MaxHeap algorithm, and also we will discuss the MaxCP5 procedure. There are some exercise questions. These are important questions, because without clearing the concept of these exercise questions, we cannot sort the heap sort algorithm. The first question is, what are the minimum and maximum number of elements in a heap of height h? There are many levels in a heap, so heap will have some height. We have to calculate that what may be the minimum and maximum number of elements in a heap of height h. Second question, show that n element heap has height log n. We will prove that n element heap has this height, that we can calculate the height of a heap through this formula. If we know the number of elements in that heap. The third question is, show that in any subtree of max heap, the root of the subtree contains the largest value occurring anywhere in that subtree. We will discuss it in the solution when we will solve this problem, exercise problem. Then we will discuss this, that what the mean of this question. What is meant by this question? Where in a max heap might the smallest elements reside, assuming that all elements are distinct. Here, this thing we will rediscuss when we solve this question. The fifth question is an array that is in sorted order a min heap? The sixth question is the sequence this a max heap? We will construct the heap from this sequence, these elements, and then we will prove that the given sequence is a max heap or not a max heap. The seventh question, show that with the array representation for sorting in an element heap, the leaves are the nodes indexed by this. That the index of each and every heap can be constructed through these formulas. So we will prove that this formula is correct for generating the index of heap, leaf nodes. This is our first question, solution of the exercise 6.1-1. Continue. What are the minimum and maximum number of elements in a heap of height h? This was our first question. So we want to know the number of elements, minimum and maximum number of elements in a heap. So the height of a heap will be given. Minimum number of elements, this is the formula. Minimum number of elements is equal to 2 to the power h. Through this formula we can extract that the minimum element in a heap of a specific height will be how much. We will evaluate through this formula. Let h is equal to 2. We will put here 2. 2 is power 2. It becomes 4. Minimum number of elements are 4 at height 2. So look at here. H means height, 0 height, because sorry, we have 0 height at bottom level. At the first level we have height 1. At the second level we have height 2. So at this height, this level 1, 2, 3. In 3 level the height become 2. 0 height, 1 height, 2 height. Levels are 3 while the height is 2. If we remove this child, then the level become 2 and the height become 1. That is just adding one more node in this section. The tree become the level of the tree become 3 and the height become 4. So after adding only one node, this we can say that at height 2 the minimum number of elements are 4. This figure is also proving the formula value, as formula has calculated the value 4. There is minimum number of elements at height 2 are 4, and 3 is also satisfying this value. Then we move. Maximum number of elements is equal to 2 is power h plus 1 minus 1. What will be the maximum number of elements in height 2? Let we have height 2. We will put here 2. Then it will become 2 is power 2 plus 1. That is 2 is power 3 minus 1. 2 is power 3 minus 1. 2 is power 3 are called 8. 8 minus 1 is equal to 7. There are 7 elements at height 2. We cannot insert more than 7 elements at height 2. So the maximum number of elements at height 2 will be the 7. You may see it here. Height h, 0 height, 1 height, 2 height. At 2 height. You may see that this was the left child and this was the right child of this node 19, and the 10 has its left and 10 has its right child. So the tree has become complete, and in this tree you cannot add some more nodes at this level or at this height. So at height 2, the maximum elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So this was the formula. This has been proved from this formula as well as from the tree diagram. That how the minimum number of elements at height 2 are 4, and the maximum number of element at height 2 are 7. This was the answer of this question. Show that an n element heap has height log n. This was our second question, and we are proving this question from this solution. Let the number of elements, that is n, is equal to 8. We have 8 elements and we want to construct the heap of 8 elements, that is 8 element heap. Then the height of heap h will be, we can calculate h is equal to log n base 2 lg. This log actually contains base 2, so we can write it like this, log n base 2. Because n, the value of n is 8, we put it here 8 log 8 base 2, and 8 can be written to its power 3. So this 2, we use the power formula of the logarithmic log. So this will be become the coefficient of log 3 log 2 base 2. Whenever there is the log and its base both are same, then it will become equal to 1. 3 into 1 is equal to 3. It means 8 number of elements can go up to height 3. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 elements, and this is 0 height. This element exists on 0 height, this at 1 height, 2 height, and this is 3 height. So 8 elements can go up to height 3. We can insert some other elements, but for 8 elements we have calculated that through this formula that 8 elements will go up to height 3. By constructing the 8 element heap, it is proved that n element heap has height log n base 2. Because we have constructed for 8 element, so for n element this formula is correct. That is, n element heap has height log n base 2, which is given in our question. So it has been proved through this formula and also through this tree diagram. And the third question is, show that in any subtree of a max heap, the root of the subtree contains the largest value occurring anywhere in the subtree. Actually, here the question is about max heap, and we are not considering the whole max heap, but the subtree or the sub portion of the heap. And here it is here we have to show that the root of the subtree contains the largest value. If we will take a subtree from the whole heap, then the root of that subtree should be the largest value occurring anywhere in that subtree. This is a max heap, because here the reference in the question is max heap. Let we have a max heap with property a of parent of I greater than or equal to a of I. Each parent satisfies this property. 85 is greater than 82, 79, and 82 is greater than 80 and 60, 79 is greater than 72. So each node is satisfying this property. This is max heap, and we are focusing on this highlighted area. Blue dotted line is highlighted area. This is the subtree. This is the whole tree, whole max heap, and this is the subsection of the heap in which we are concentrating, or we are focusing on 3 elements. The root element is 82. In the max heap tree, the highlighted section of the tree is a subtree. In this max heap, this highlighted section is the subtree, and the root element of this subtree is 82. So in this highlighted section, 82 is the root, which is the largest element from the rest of the subtree elements, that is 80 and 60. It is the largest element from 80 and 60. So it has been proved that is in a max heap, if we will take any subtree, then its root element will be the largest element of the rest of the element of that subtree. The fourth question is, what is the maximum max heap? Where in a max heap might the smallest element reside, assuming that all elements are distinct? We have a max heap where no two elements have same value. Moreover, we have to prove that in a max heap might the smallest, where in the max heap the smallest element reside. Smallest, every max heap one smallest element. Every max heap contains one smallest element, and in which area or in what location that smallest element will reside, will occur. Let we have a max heap with property A of parent of I greater than A of I. So this is max heap, and this max heap satisfying this max heap property. Each and every node is satisfying this max heap property. Look at the highlighted area of this max heap. In this highlighted area, the minimum value is 60. The minimum value is 60. And this 60, you may see this from the above max heap, it can be seen that smallest element of this max heap is 60, 82, 85, 82, 79, 80, 60, 72. From all these 6 elements, 60 is the smallest element, and it is the leaf node. It occurs in the area of the leaf node, which shows that in a max heap the smallest element will always reside in the leaf node area of the heap, because question want to know that where the smallest element will reside. So we have shown that the smallest element will always reside in the leaf node area of the heap. This was the answer of this question number 4. Question number 5. Is an array that is in sorted order a mean heap? This is the question. So we have to prove that whether an array is sorted, then it will be a mean heap. Let we have a sequence sorted in ascending order. This is a sequence. What is a sequence and what is a series? If some elements are separated with commas, then all those elements are called a sequence, and if those elements are separated with plus or minus symbols, then such elements are called a series. So these elements are separated with commas, so this is a sequence, and this sequence is in ascending order. 2 is less than 13, 13 is less than 26, 26 is less than 30, 30 is less than, so all elements are in ascending order. Now we build a heap from the above sorted area. So this will be the root element, and these two will be the left and right child. 13 is left, 26 is right, and then this 30 and 37 will be the left and right child of 13, and 50 and 71 will be the left and right child of 26, and that's 95 will be the left child of this 30. So this is the heap, and this heap satisfies. From the above heap, we can observe that element of the heap satisfy the mean heap property. That is, 13 is less than 30, 13 is less than 37. Both child 13 is less. So this is the parent 26, and it is less than 50 and 71. This 30 is the parent, and this is less than 95. 2 is the parent, and it is less than 13 and 26. Where the parents are less than from their childs, the value of the parent is less than from their child, then such a heap is a min heap. So this min heap we have constructed from the sorted array which is in ascending order. From the above heap we can observe that the element of the heap satisfies the min heap property, that is a of parent of I less than or is equal to a of I. So it is clear that an array which is sorted in ascending order, not in descending order but in ascending order, will be a min heap. Here we have to prove whether a sorted array may be a min heap. Yes, a sorted array which is in ascending order may be a min heap. This was our question. Question number 6. Is the sequence, this one, a max heap? So we will construct the heap from this sequence and then we will show whether it is a max heap or not. Given data is this. This is the data which we have extracted from the question. Now we build a heap from the above data. From this data we build this heap. First element is the root node. These two elements will be the child of this root, and the second two elements will be the child 6 and 13 are the child of 17, and 10 and 1 are the child of 14, and then 5 and 7 are the child of this 6, and this last 12 is the child of this 13. This is a heap, but this is a heap, not a max heap. But here we have to prove that whether the in this sequence, firstly we will build the heap, not the max heap but heap, and then we will prove whether the constructed heap is a max heap or not. Given data is this 23, 17, 14, 6, 13, 10, 1, 5, 7 and 12. Now we build a heap, not a max heap but heap from the above data. So this will be the first element will be the root node, 17 and 14 will be the left and right child of the root node, and then 6 and 13 will be the left and right child of 17, and next 10 and 1 will be the left and right child of 14, and then 5 and 7 will be the left and right child of 6, and 12 will be the left child of 13. In this heap, this highlighted area, in this highlighted area we see that 6 is smaller than 7 and 6 is the parent. In a max heap, the parent is greater than its left and right both childs, but we see that 6 is not greater than 7 but it is smaller than 7. Parent should be greater than its child, but parent is smaller than itself. It is violating the max heap property. From the highlighted area of above heap, it is clear that node 6 and 7 are violating the max heap property, that is a of parent of I greater than or equal to a of I. Hence the given array sequence is not a max heap. So this is the solution of the given question, that this specific area is violating the max heap property, so the whole heap is not a max heap. Next, solution of exercise 6.7. Show that with the array representation for storing an n element heap, the leaves are the nodes indexed by this, because the heap is constructed from array, and each array element have an index. So this question actually this question is saying that the index of a heap can be evaluated, can be extracted from the array through these formulas: n divided by 2, floor of n divided by 2 plus 1, floor of n divided by 2 plus 2, floor of n divided by 2 plus 3 up to n. Let we have an array sequence index. This is suppose we have an array element 12, 10, 9. These are array elements and these are the index of array elements. Then we construct a heap. Now we build a heap from the above data. 12 will be the root element, next two element will be the left and right child, and next two element will be the left and right child of the 10, and next two element will be the left and right child of 9, and then next two element will be the left and right child of this 8. By applying here we have n is equal to 9. There are 9 elements in this heap, so n is equal to 9. For indices of leaf node, first leaf node n divided by 2 plus 1, value of n is 9, we put here 9. 9 divided by 2 plus 1, this is floor function. 9 divided by 2 is equal to 4.5 floor. Floor of 4.5 will be only floor. We will discard 0.5 because floor function discards the point value. So we will it will return 4. 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. 5. This is index number 5. The value at index number 5 will be the first leaf node, that is 7 is the first leaf node. This is the first leaf node because it has no child. The node which have no child is the leaf node. 8 has 2 child, but 7 has no child, so it is first leaf node and its index is 5. So the first index of the leaf node is 5. The second leaf node is n divided by 2 plus 2 and 9 divided by 2, and because value of n is 9, 9 divided by 2 plus 2, 4.5 plus 2, 4.5. The floor of 4.5 is 4. 4 plus 2 is equal to 6. 6 is the second child. Similarly, from this formula we will construct the 7 because we are adding 3 with 4. 3 plus 4 is equal to 7, and 7 index number 7. There exists the node number 4. And this is the third leaf node, and similarly the fourth leaf node, the index of the fourth leaf node is 8. You may see the 8 index. At 8 index 6 exists, it has no child, so it is leaf node. And the last is in our formula last n value, n is 9, so the last leaf node contains the index 9. Index 9 is equal to 3. It has no leaf node, so it is child node, so it is a leaf node. We have seen that our first leaf node is here at index 5, then 6, then 7, 8, and then 9, which have been proved from this figure and from this formula. So it has been proved that the highlighted area of the heap consists on leaf node having indices 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. For n is equal to 9, the value, the number of elements in the heap are 9, while the calculated value of indices, these are the calculated 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. These are the calculated value of the values of the indices from the given formula are 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Therefore, it is clear that for n element heap, the leaves are the nodes indexed by this, and up to n, which have been proved as given by the question. Maintaining the max heap property. The max heap procedure takes an array A and its index I. Max heap procedure contains an array A, any number of element in A. That is, there may be 12 element, 30 element, 50 element, 100 element, and when we want to maxify a single element of the array, that we want to satisfy the max heap property of that specific element, then we will give this max heap procedure the index of that element from the array and that array itself. Both the value will be passed to this max heapify procedures, and then it is assumed that the left and right subtrees are already max heap. The procedure lets the value of A of I float down, that is, if the value given value at given index I is violating the max heap property, then it will be float down in the max heap so that the subtree rooted at index I becomes a max heap. So the index and the value at index I and all the rest of the value which are rooted at index I all will satisfy the max heap property. At that time we will float down the value which exists at index I. We see this procedure with an example. This is actually our max CP5 procedure, and max CP5 procedure needs an array A and an index value I, which we have discussed here in our previous slide, that max CP5 procedures needs an array A and index I. These are the requirement of max CP5 procedure. So max CP5, whenever we will call max CP5 procedure, we will pass an array values and required index which needs to become max CP5. Here L, R and largest, these are here the L, R, I, L, R and largest. These are 4 variables which will have the index value in their memory. I will have an index value of the array, L will have the index value, R will have the index value, and largest will have the index value. But there will be different indices of the array, but we will see that throughout the whole procedure there will be the index value, not the actual element value. A heap size of array, we have another variable which contains the heap size, that is how much heap it how much size of the heap is. Moreover, here the max CP5 procedure contains the 10 lines code. The first line, 1, L is equal to left of I. This I value will be passed to left, and then the left function, this left function will return 2I value, and that 2I value will be stored in L. This right function will be called, this is the right function, sub function which we have discussed previously, and I value will be passed to this, and it will return the right child, index of right child node of this I index value. I index value will be the parent, and it will have left and right child. So the parent want to know that which index value of array will be my left and which will be my right child. So these two algorithm will tell to I that your left element in the array will be here in the memory of L. The index of that left child will be in L, and the index of right child will be in the memory of R variable. Then the third line will check whether the left and L, the index of the left child exceeds the heap size or not. So it should be less than heap size. If it exceeds the left child, because they are generating with the multiple of 2, so the left child index may exceed. Let's suppose the value of I is 10, and this 10 is passed to left. 10 will return this left will return 2 10s are 20. Then 20 will be less than heap size. No, heap size is 14. 20 is not less than 14. It means this left and right subalgorithm may generate an index which does not exist in the domain of this heap size. So those indices will be rejected. So we are checking that index should be less than heap size. If it is larger than heap size, then though that element will not exist in the heap, so we will not proceed further. We will stop there. So this is the first condition, that is left child should be less than the value of the left index will be less than heap size, and A of L, the array element at index L should be greater than the array element at index I. This is the violation, because maxipify actually place the value at index I at its proper position. So the value at index I is actually violating the maxi property. Violation means the value is smaller than its child. So we are checking that is left child is greater than that parent or not. If it is greater, then violation exists here. Then the largest is L value. That is, the value at index L will be largest if this condition satisfied. Else, the largest is still I. So violation may occur. The parent can violate the left child or the right child. That is, it may be smaller than the left or the right child. Not from the both, but from one left or right. So we again check the index which we have generated here in R. That is, R is less than heap size. R should not be, the value of R should not be greater than heap size, because right algorithm is generating the right child index of the current node. So this generated value should not be greater than heap size, it should be less than heap size. This condition should be satisfied. And A of R greater than A of largest. Now the computer or the algorithm will check that the new parent, which will take the value of its parent is smaller than, here we will discuss the example, 2 is smaller than 10. 2 is not smaller than 1, but 2 is smaller than 10. So 10 will replace this 2. 2 will come down through this direction. 2 will come here and 10 will go up. So we are checking that whether the parent is smaller than its left child or its right child. If it is smaller than right child, then it will left child, then it will be replaced with left. Then largest is equal to R, and here if largest not equal to I, it means there is, if we have moved the value of I in largest, as in the case of line number 5, then the largest value and I value will be equal. And if it is not equal, it means some child is greater than the parent. So exchange A of I with A of largest, because parent is at I location and the largest child, either it is left or right, or its index is here in the memory of largest, in this memory. So we will exchange the parent with the largest. Here in this case, the largest is 10. 1 is not largest from 2. 10 is largest from 2. So 2 will replace with 10. 2 will come down and 10 will go up. This is called exchange. Exchange A of I with A of largest. Maxipify A and largest. When 2 will come down, These two may violate again the property of max if, that is, it may be smaller than its child. So there is the violation of max if. So maxify procedure will repeat itself, and this array will pass to this maxify, and the largest index, that is 6, will be passed to this I. Now I will be 6, and this procedure will again repeat, and the 2 which will come here will replace with 9, because that is, this procedure will be repeated again until the 2 become the leaf node, or it will get a position where it will not violate the maxif property. So we will understand the operation of maxify through this example. Here we are calling maxify procedure, and we are passing a array. This is our array. We pass this array to maxify procedure, and I is equal to 3. This value will be passed to that index number 3. The value is 2. It is violating the maxif property. It is smaller than one of its child, or both childs, maybe from both childs. So first we build the maxif from the given array data. This is so first we build the heap from the given array data. This is heap, and because we are passing 3, we are passing 3 to maxify. So the maxify will concentrate here. The value of I is 3, and from this procedure I is 3, the left and right child of I will be evaluated. The left child is 10 and right child is 1. So this parent is less than 10. So it will exchange itself from with the value of 10. That is, 10 will become the parent and 2 will become the child of 10. So from here we will go to this location, that the 10 have become parent and 2 have become child. They have exchanged its position, and as we have seen earlier here, the maxify procedure is again, after exchanging, the maxify procedure is again called, and the a value and the largest, that is 6 value, is passed to I. Now I is not 3, I is 6. In the beginning the I was 3, but again when we will again call to maxify, then the I will be 6, because firstly 2 was here at index 3, so I was 3. Now 2 is here at location 6, so I will be 6, and the maxify procedure will go through. It will call to left and right child, right algorithm, to know the left and right child. So the left and right child of these two is 8 and 9, and the largest is 9. From largest child will replace this parent, not 8 but 9. 9 will go up and 2 will go down. This this exchange will happen through this line called line number 9, and after exchanging we will see this version of the heap, that is 9 have become parent and 2 have become child. They have been exchanged itself. Both have been exchanged itself. Now 2 is the leaf node, and it has no child, and its index is 13. This 13 index is passed to maxify will pass the array and the largest, that is 13, index to I. I will call to left child, and it will send 2 into 13, that is 26. 26 to L and 27 to R. From here it will return 27 and 27 to R. But 26 is not less than 14. So if one of the condition, here we see that AND is the logical operator, and there are two conditions. If both conditions will satisfy, then if will be satisfied, and this if block will be executed. Otherwise we will go to else block. So here it is violating 26 is not less than heap size 14. So first condition is false, so it will jump this then condition and execute the else condition, and I will be I is equal to 13 will be stored in largest. I is 13, largest is 13. Then the R value is 27, and 27 is not less than 14. So this condition is false. So second condition need not, because if one condition is false, whole condition will be false. So it will jump to this from this if block and execute this if statement. Here the largest was 13 and I was 13. 13 not equal to 13? No. Then this these two statement will not execute and algorithm will stop. So you may see it here that 2 need not to go further down. So maxify will not call itself, and here it will end. This heap has been converted to max heap. Here each and every node is satisfying the max heap property. We have constructed this max heap from this version to this and this version to this version through the maxify procedure, because question says to call maxify and convert this non-max heap max heap to a max heap form using this max heap procedure. Maxify analysis. It takes O of 1, theta of 1 to find A of largest. Whenever we find the largest element from an array plus the time to run the procedure recursively, because from two smaller element, two child, we have to find the largest child in the case of max heap. So it takes the unit time, and it recursively call at most 2n over 3 element, that is it go down, and 2n over 3 element maximum in a heap it can traverse 2n over 3 element. This is the maximum type of child tree. It occurs when the last row of the tree is exactly half full. Max subtree size is equal to half of all element to the level L minus 1 plus element at last level minus 1 root element. This is the formula of max subtree size. If number of element in a heap n is equal to 15, and according to figure, for 15 element heap we have level 4. There are 15 elements in this heap, and this is 0, this is level 1, this is 1, 2, this is 3, and this is 4 level. A 15 element heap contains 4 level. This heap contains height 3, but the levels are 4. This is 1 level, this is 2, 3, and there are 4 levels in this heap, and the element are 15. N is equal to 15, and according to figure, for 15 element heap we have L is equal to 4. Max subtree size will be calculated through 2 to the power L minus 1, that is 4 minus 1 is equal to 2 to the power 3 divided by 2 to the power, and 2 to the power 4 divided by 2 and minus 1. This is 2 to the power 4 minus 1, that is 2 to the power 3 divided by 2, 2 to the power 4 divided by 2 minus 1. 2 to the power 3 become 8, 8 divided by 2 become 4. 2 to the power 4 becomes 16, 16 divided by 2 become 8, and minus 1, this is minus 1. So 8 plus 4 become 12, 12 minus 1 is equal to 11. So which is nearly 2n over 3, because n is 15. 2 into 15 is equal to 30. 30 divided by 3 is equal to become 10. 11 and 10 are nearly equal. So this formula is the same, that is we will have to traverse 11 or 10 element for making an element or searching an element from its original locations to sending them at the leaf as a leaf node through this maxif procedure. So it may take 10 or 11, it may traverse 10 or 11 elements. So this formula is true. T of n less than T of 2n over 3 plus theta of 1. According to Master theorem, T of n is equal to theta of log n. So when we will calculate this, we have already calculated through Master theorem. So its running time become T of n is equal to theta of log n, and a is equal to 1, b is equal to 3 over 2, f of n is equal to theta of 1. In that question, these were the a, b and f of n values, and putting these values, we can check that the running time of this reconciliation is T of n is theta of log n. Since T of n is in a worst case scenario, we have a running time of the algorithm at O of log n. That maxify procedure takes O of log n time when it will exchange and make the element from a heap position to the proper position of that node, so that it should not violate the maxif property. So making the node to its proper location, it will take O of log n time. Here heap of n is equal to 15 and L is equal to 4. This is the figure in which there are number of elements 15 and level of 4. So maxif AP5 procedure takes O of log n time. We will use this time for calculating the total running time of the heap sort. This is not heap sort. This is actually max AP5 procedure, and this is the sub algorithm of our heap sort algorithm. This is the sub algorithm of our heap sort algorithm. And this was the end of our lecture number 13. Thanks. Allah Hafiz.